Okay, so Rob and I are here to talk about cybersecurity. We have a short video and then we'll get into some of the tips that we have for this year.
Just as K-12 kids and college students return to what they hope is a full year of in-person learning, this morning, a new warning about the predators waiting just beyond the keyboard. Cybersecurity firm Checkpoint Software says hack attacks against education have already jumped a staggering 29% globally just this year. In the U.S., up 17%, with 443 attacks per organization per week. Phishing emails, identity theft, and most often, ransomware attacks.
What's caught the education sector off guard is that they really didn't think of themselves as targets. But criminals have no honor. They will go after hospitals, and we've seen them go after schools.
Already attacked a long list of colleges and universities, big and small, including UCLA, the University of Colorado System, Yeshiva University, the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and the Stanford School of Medicine. Also, hundreds of school districts have been attacked, including Broward County, Florida, Baltimore County, Fairfax County, Virginia, Toledo, and the tiny Newhall School District outside of Los Angeles.
You're talking about 5 to 12-year-olds and shutting down their learning.
Students and teachers locked out on payroll, grades, and lesson plans for nearly 2 weeks as hackers demanded money. The superintendent admits they did not have a cyber attack response plan.
But I don't think most school districts have that in place. They have it around, like earthquakes and school shooting and that kind of stuff, but I don't think most have a really response manual connected to ransomware attacks.
Superintendent Elzel won't say if the district paid to get the computers back, but IBM Cybersecurity reports the average school hacks cost nearly $3.8 million. It comes in a year of escalating attacks against U.S. businesses, oil pipelines, even the food supply. Now, Congress is considering laws to require critical businesses to report all cyber attacks to Homeland Security, as schools are urged to double down on security right now, block access to suspicious websites, regularly change all passwords, teach students and teachers email security basics, back up all systems offline, never skip a security update, and hire a cybersecurity team if you can. For the news, I'm Tom Costello.
Good morning. So we're going to have a little fun, with as much fun as we can with this. I was told I was going to go after Sue did acceptable use and before legal, so we should be good. So what is hacking? Hacking is the act of unauthorized user who attempts to gain access to information system or data. Very simple. So hackers are relying on us being one thing, human. So I can tell you, as you heard, I've been here for 15 years. Father, stepfather, husband, director of IT. But at the end of the day, I'm human, just like all of you. So here's some common secret questions revealed. And I know you've all seen these. My crazy husband thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not the one married to me. How long have you been married? And where did you meet? Great security questions. This common one, got to get closer to read, was shared on Facebook 14,000 times and has commented more than 2,000. The other one, remember your first concert, how old were you, and who did you see? Anybody know what kind of security question that's going to answer? Birthday. Right. So these are fun games on Facebook that everybody's like, oh, let me participate. We're going to get into the 7 things that hackers are counting on having you do. So these are just a couple of examples. Here's your human information. Is sharing caring? What if it's not yours? Internet permanence. If it's on the internet, it's permanent. Even if it's deleted, just look at the news, tweets. They find them. Slow down and think. And check your social media. Check for default permissions. It's social media. It wants it to be social. Default is to see everything. Some of the information pulled from Facebook, places you live, basic information, your birthdays, security questions again, especially when you get into tax season. Name places you lived. Well, there you go, right in front of you. Right, high school, all kinds of questions. They don't have to look very far to find. So again, stop, think, and question what you're giving. First job, favorite food, favorite color, first pet's name, first child's name, favorite restaurant, hometown. The list goes on. These are all security questions that everyone uses, your bank, taxes, schools for reset passwords. Stop giving your information to hackers. Here's the 7 things I talked about. This is what they want you to feel. Authority, for someone that holds power, an organization, an email from a principal, superintendent, business official. Intimidation, negative consequences for non-action. Consensus, if you're doing it, I should too. Urgency, act now. Need, required help. Scarcity while supplies last. Familiarity, knowing the entity, Amazon, Google, help desk, and trust. Have not had an issue with them before, coworkers, friend, help desk, etc. Those are the 7 ways that the hackers have to make you feel that you have to go ahead and click on those emails, respond to them, etc. That's what they're counting on. Some cybersecurity tips. Use passwords are not easy to guess. 12 characters long. Avoid using the same password across different accounts. If they get one of your passwords, they have them all. Never share passwords with others. Use password managers. We have a class link available here, and Google just rolled out their own as well. And then share these best practices with your students.
And also there's random password generators that make extensive passwords that are great to use as well.
So this was a slide that I found, and I get a lot of questions. Why does my password have to be so long? Why does it have to have special characters, etc.? This is the times we live. This is how fast it is. So on the left side is the number of characters, and then up top is, I'm not sure if anybody can see in the back, there's numbers only, lowercase, upper lowercase, number upper and lowercase, number upper and lowercase, letters and symbols. So if we go to 8, right? Everybody loves the 8 character. With numbers only, they can hack it instantly. All the way over to the most sophisticated numbers, uppercase, letters, at 8, it takes them 39 minutes. That's it. So the longer the password and the complexity, you can see that we go down to the green, 92 billion years at 16 characters with special characters. So when you're making your passwords, don't think of a paraphrase. Think of something spelled out with an @ sign instead of an A or an exclamation point at the end, or something that's easy to remember, but also the more characters and the more the randomness, it's obviously a lot harder to have.
So how to identify phishing is, certainly key. We spent a lot of time over the last 4 or 5 years talking about this, but...
Fake one is? Good answer. They all are. All those are made to look like they're legitimate sources. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, they all want you to get to log in. They're not actual logins, they're scraping your username and password. This goes on to fear, locked account notice. If you don't change your password, if you don't do this, you're going to lose access to your account. I'm not sure if anybody lost access to their Facebook, it's impossible to get back. This is the fear. So let me go ahead and give my password and user and make sure I don't get locked out of those accounts. This is obviously a trick. Again, more fear, copyright violation. If you don't provide us your information, you are in copyright violation, subject to whatever they, say on there.
This summer in my text messages, I've been getting a lot of, you're gonna get locked out of your Netflix account, which is interesting because I don't have Netflix. That one, they haven't caught me on that one. But also another popular one that I was getting via text as well was Amazon. My Amazon account's gonna get shut down, you know, yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day, yeah. So we're aware of them, just, you know, gotta be conscious, right?
And again, this goes back to not only what happens in here at BOCES, but personal, because those are coming on your personal devices, they're coming to you to log in. And if you use multiple accounts with the same password, well, you just gave your password to just about everything. And our account is very simple, right? First name, last name. So once somebody has access to that, they know it all. So if somebody does it on a personal account, they can figure out your BOCES account information pretty quickly if it's the same password.
Okay, so use of multi-factor authentication. So we implemented multi-factor at the end of this past school year. It is now, the button has been turned on. So you cannot remove yourself from multi-factor at this point. And there's a couple of reasons why we have multi-factor. One of them is that it is a requirement of the cybersecurity framework that keeps us safe. The second is that it is required by your insurance company, so we could not have insurance, cyber insurance, if we didn't have multi-factor turned on. And part of that process is Rob and I and senior management are looking into wrapping more and encompassing more things under multi-factor, because currently that's the best defense we have against hackers.
If your application, again, personal or BOCES, has the ability to turn multi-factor on, turn it on.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, they all have it, turn it on.
Yes.
Does everybody know what multi-factor is? So multi-factor is a way that it basically verifies who you are outside of username and password. So there's authenticators, which generate like a soft token that changes. There's apps. That's what most people use here. We use Google Authenticator. There's hard tokens. There's text messages. It's just verifying you are who you say you are. So without inputting that information that you have registered with, it will not allow you to log in. So as Sue said, we turned it on for Google here. It is required, it's not an option. If you have a BOCES account, you will be using multi-factor. Again, it's not our requirements, it's state requirements, it's insurance requirements, it's gonna be on your banks, it's gonna be everywhere you log on, it's going to be required. So it's not an option.
Yeah, so, and if you see in the center there's a couple of different ways. And if you're an Apple user, your face is your biometrics. So you probably are doing it and not even realizing it. Tip number 4, this is really important. If we were to have an incident, like the video implied, many schools are down for about a month, is on average if they've had a hack. So that means that none of us would be able to access our materials online for approximately a month, 2 weeks to a month. So I want you to keep that in mind in case it happens to us. What would I do? But also, the faster something's reported, the less damage it can do. So if you click on something, you're like, oh my God, I just clicked on something, it was bad. Please call the help desk. The faster we can mediate the situation. If you see something, say something. If it's a false alarm, that's cool. Better to be safe than sorry.
And the ransomware, how the ransomware works is it lays dormant. So what happens is you may click on that link, you put in your user account credentials, you're like, oh, nothing happened. But it did happen. It's laying dormant. It lays dormant for months and months, and all of a sudden, it goes crazy. It moves from west to east, internal traffic, and then falls out. So it takes any kind of information it wants to, uploads it out. Again, 15 years I've been here, I'm going in my 16th year. There was a time when you could just buy firewalls and buy everything to block all this stuff and dump a ton of money into it, be protected. That's not where we are right now. It's not where any of our school districts are. It's not where anywhere anybody interacts with. Email, etc., logins. They're counting on the human aspect of you messing up one time. That's it. So we have a great help desk, great IT staff. Call. We'll help you, we'll remote in, we'll check it. I'd rather get a million calls to say the false positives than that one call that says we're going to be down for the month. And I don't want to make that call to Bob, so please.
This is also really important. So just so you know, that video says, are you, they're thinking about requiring any incidents to be reported to CISA. We are required to report to state ed any incidents, and we are required to report to the federal government, CISA. So that's already a requirement in U.S. or in New York anyway, not the U.S. But we want as much forensic materials as possible so that we can figure out how it happened. How did it happen? Let's not let it happen again. And to ensure that is, you're going to disconnect your computer from the Wi-Fi or from the hardwire Ethernet. But you want to leave the power on. So if you think that like your computer's locked up and something's taken over, don't shut it down. Like that's your first instinct. Oh, that's weird, right? Control, Alt, Delete, and shut down. We could lose forensic material, like material that's on that device. So the thing is to see something, say something, so call. And you should shut off either the Ethernet, which is the phone wire that runs into the back of your computer, or turn off, if it's a device, connected to the Wi-Fi. Leave the power on. Okay? Got it? Any questions?
I was one. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a safe year.